Welcome to WP Cart. In this video tutorial, we're going to walk through creating special products called invoices or service-based products. And this is going to be useful for people who might sell their services, and or they want to invoice customers and send them to a single payment page where they can enter an amount and pay that custom amount. And so let's take a look here. I've got a site where we've got a web design company. They're going to want to have to be able to invoice their users. The amounts may be different for every customer. So we've created up here a pay invoice product. So let's take a look at what that looks like. You can see here it looks very similar to most other products in EasyCart that you would create. However, the user can enter a custom amount. Maybe this user received an invoice for $250. They can enter a custom amount. Maybe you send them an invoice number. They can enter that, and they can add to their shopping cart whatever they've entered. So now they've got that in their cart. They can check out just as usual. So the unique difference between these products, invoice and service-based items, is that you can have the user manipulate the price of the item. So let's take a look at what this looks like. We have over here just a demo store running, and here's my products. I'm going to go ahead and create a new product. And yes, it's going to be active and it's going to be on the store. Again, you can use our third pull down here, which kind of has some basic setup products, and it sets the settings for shipping and various areas for you. It doesn't mean you can't change any of this later. So I'm going to go ahead and select the invoice product, and I'm going to go ahead and say my test. I'll say make a payment, and I'll give it a SKU. I'll go ahead and select a manufacturer for it, so I'm just making up a title for it. The price for this, again, this is kind of just a default. Maybe you start at $50 for your making a payment. You can select whatever you'd like. For imagery, again, I always tell people to have a logo or a box or create something as a default image for your item. So I'm going to go ahead and create and edit this. And this is my basic donation product. Maybe I want to add a description. Please enter an amount received on invoice and add to cart. You can have a big description, of course, whatever you need. Let's just take a look at what this would look like on your store. So you've got regular products. Now this, when you click on it, you can link that URL and send it to anybody to make a payment. And maybe you have an invoicing system where you would like to send them an invoice. That would be a good link to send them to, is just directly to this make a payment page. You'll see in here it's got an amount you can enter and add to the cart. Now right off the bat, you'll notice there is this label which says donation amount. Our invoices or our service-based product are exactly the same as basically making a donation. You're giving the user the ability to enter a custom amount. So let me show you how to actually change this labeling. That's usually the first thing I always do with these. So I go back over here to my settings, and I go down to the language editor. And the language editor, if you haven't seen this, allows you to customize every phrase in EasyCart. So if you ever want to change a label in any area, you can do that through this section. And they're pretty well organized, whether they're in the shopping cart or they're in the customer account area, or up here we're going to go to the product details. And you can see we have all these phrases in here, and this allows you to customize. Without getting into too much detail on the language piece, I'm going to have you just do a quick search. I'll just do a quick search for donation, and I can find those. And this is where I come in and I like to change these. Instead of donation amount, it's just going to be invoice amount. Minimum invoice. I'm going to just go ahead and find the next one. Invoice amount instead of donation amount. And maybe I'll change that down here as well. Invoice amount. And I'll just save this. And we're just customizing the language so it fits our product a little bit better. So now it says invoice amount. Again, you could go in and add more here if you needed to. And that's all it takes to create a product where you can add that. Now if you want to collect more information, for example an invoice number, which you can easily do, I'm going to come over to our option sets, and I have a whole video on how to create and work with option sets, so I'll kind of breeze through this real quick. But I'm just going to create a new option set, and it's going to be a text input field, and I'm just going to go ahead and call this invoice number, and the label is just going to say please enter an invoice number. And I might make it optional. You know, I don't want to not allow somebody to enter a payment just because they can't. So I'm going to leave the required off here, and I'm just going to go ahead and save this. So now I have a simple option set called invoice number, and I'm going to jump back to my product, and I'm going to go ahead and open up my make a payment product. Go down to option sets, and we're going to now just turn on an advanced option because that's what we have as a text box, and I'm just going to select my invoice number and add it to my product. So all we've done here is we've taken and created an option set allowing the user to enter an invoice number. So now they can enter an amount. This person owes me $250. Do they have an invoice number? Maybe they do. They can enter your invoice number, add it to the cart, and check out. So it makes a very easy way for you to collect payments from anybody. It's a great product if you run a service-oriented business. Again, you don't have to have this even in your store. For example, I might come in here, go to basic settings, and whether or not you want to have that show on the main store page is up to you. So I'm going to turn it off. And we've got this URL. I can copy that, and I can send that in an email to anybody, and they can get to that product. But if somebody was on my store, you'll notice it doesn't show up. And so whatever you want to do with that link, you can add a link up here just like we did on this site. You know, pay your invoice, and we just link them directly to that product. Makes a great way for you to collect invoices if your business has that, and then run your store with different products in it as well. So that's invoice products. We do have another video. We'll take a look at how to do donation products. They're very similar though, same process. But we have many other videos if you haven't seen them on how to create gift cards or downloads or retail products. So be sure to check out our video library if you're looking for more on how to customize or create unique products. Thank you.